Hey, good morning, Eva. Good morning.
Morning, Stanley.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to coach you. And as agreed, I'd like to ask you for permission to share this video recording online for educational purpose to bring more awareness to what coaching is.
Yes, sure, definitely.
Yes, thank you, Eva. So before we start, suggest that we take a few deep breaths, center ourselves, and once you're ready, please let me know.
I'm ready.
Yes, thank you. So during that the session, I'll be taking down some notes, and when I'm looking down to write notes to help me reflect better, rest assured that I'm still fully present listening to you. At the end of session, I will destroy these notes. Yeah. Okay,
Sure.
thank you. So, Eva, so what would you like to talk about that is of value to you today?
Um, I would like to talk about my, it's a, to me, I think it's a deep-rooted uh, reluctance to get myself into a sales kind of role. Okay. So, I mean, since young, I mean, even my very first job, I've never purposely went out to look for a sales role. And even then, when I was in, like, for example, in a product management role, when my manager told me that, oh no, she thinks that I would do well in sales, and she was like, proposing that I venture out to that area, but I rejected. Like, told her flatly, no, I'm more comfortable doing, more back end kind of role. Right now in my life, I've reached a stage whereby, so I've always been in support roles, and I was thinking I wanted a change, right? Because my last role as a salary employee was very demanding in terms of time and effort. So it took time away from my family. So as of now, I'm looking for a change in my career. And it does seems like when you want to be self-employed, definitely sales is part of it that you need to do, right? But I find it very difficult to get myself in the sync of it. So it's like I feel like it's as if you ask me to talk to somebody with an ulterior motive. So I find it quite hard to overcome. So what I'm looking to achieve out of this conversation would be good if I could overcome this, like so that I'm more willing to try something different.
Thank you, Eva, for sharing. May I have your permission to reflect back what I hear?
Sure.
Yeah, so I hear a few things. One, you have a deep-rooted reluctance to get into sales role. Two, um, you mentioned for self-employed, definitely you need to do sales. And three, yeah, you find it quite difficult or hard to overcome it. And four, um, you want to know how to overcome this and be more willing.
Yeah.
So how does that sound?
Yeah. It's good. Good summary.
In today's conversation, what would you like to focus on that is of significance to you?
I think what you mentioned, the last one, that would be really the crux. That meaning like how to overcome this reluctance and then how to start doing it.
Mm. What makes overcoming important to you?
Mm, because if I want to do something new whereby I'm in control of my time, my resources, then I need to step into sales.
What's stopping you from overcoming?
It is an embarrassment, or is it like I feel bad having to have a conversation with somebody uh, with the intent of getting something out from that person, you know?
If you were to know, where is this feeling bad coming from?
I don't know really. Is it because of like even my own experience when people sell things to me? I'm like, I don't want it. Why do you keep talking to me? I'm not interested. That kind of thing. It could be. But I had this since young, so it's quite strange. So one thing it could be my own experience with salespeople. If another thing it could be just like, is it a character or part of me that I basically want to get focus. I mean, I can chit chat with people. I can, I'm definitely very focused if let's say there's a project related discussion. But when it comes to selling it, actually I'm also doing, I mean, in normal work, I'm also selling things like selling ideas, selling procedures and stuff. But I don't feel anything wrong about that because I was focused on like, yeah, this brings us to a better place, right? And also because it's not as if I'm getting any benefit out of that person personally. So I can do that, right? So yeah, I mean, come to think of it, we're all doing some form of sales, right? But if I were to do real sales whereby at the end of the day, this person is going to give me something that will benefit me personally, that's where I feel a bit like is it a conflict of values or yeah, is that it feels as if I'm not doing something nice. Yeah,
What
I'm
other
not sure if
areas
you
in
feel that.
your yeah, what other areas in your life has this um feeling shown up?
Really? Sorry?
What other areas in your life has this conflict kind of feeling shown up?
Other things that I do, I'm pretty much okay about it, right? And yeah, it's just strange. Like for example, if somebody were to ask me, I mean, the only sales job that I did was when I was 16, waiting for the holidays to pass to start my studies. I did a sales assistant at Isetan, and they assigned me to a boutique to sell all the lady clothes. And actually, I was okay because customer service, and then they will ask me for opinions, like which dress suits them better, or how does this look on them. And I happily give them my view. And if they were to buy, I'm happy. But if they don't buy, I'm okay too, right? Uh, that was that went down okay with myself. But I guess the difference is because that one is not commission based. It's not as if I'm pressuring the customer to buy. I'm happy if the customer buys, but if the customer buy or don't buy, it's not as if I get additional money. Yeah, it wasn't incentive based. So yeah, and I'm happy if they walk away with a piece of dress, looking good, feeling good about themselves. But now that if I have to do sales solely, um, whereby I know that I will be rewarded monetarily, by whether or not they take the sale from me, then that's when I feel a bit funny.
Hmm. If all feeling of reluctance ceases to exist, how would life be different?
I mean, I would say that it's not actually. So the reluctance is like a byproduct of an underlying part whereby I don't feel good about talking to somebody and with the intention of getting money out of them. So I think the underlying is this discomfort of this action, and hence that's why I'm reluctant to do sales. So I think the key is more of reconciling the part of of seeing that talking to somebody with the intention of getting money from them at the end of it is bad. Yeah, if I could switch this, then I think the reluctance will go away.
What has to happen for you to switch this?
That's the baffling part. It's like a mindset change. So like take for example this flow that I recently got acquainted with, right? I mean, after knowing it, experienced it first time in a workshop, and then later on I had this opportunity to co-facilitate a workshop with a company, right? A group of senior leaders, and I could see it's really helpful. I could see the benefits, right? I mean, first, of course, the report is not free, right? I mean, you have to pay for the research that went into this tool, so the report comes at a cost. So if let's say I would introduce it to somebody, I will need to sell the report, and that person will need to buy the report, right, in order to see the benefit. So that's the part that I'm like, even though I see something good, because I mean, most of us, like, we do certain things just to, we don't really much talk to them. How many of us have set aside time to really reflect and think about it? So this profiling tool, it actually like tells us why we do what we do, and it helps us to see the blind spots that we know that a person normally doesn't see in a busy day-to-day life, right? So, but if I were to say this to another person with the objective of, oh, I hope this person buys this report from me, I feel that it's not right. But if I were to share this with a person without any agenda, that means without him needing to buy the report from me, I'm okay, because I'm selling the benefits of this tool that I see. In fact, what I see is, in coaching, because normally like we meet a client the first time, and then we will ask them what they want to talk about and things like that. But sometimes some clients are not very self-aware. So, the successfulness of coaching conversation depends on both parties, on coach as well as the coachee, right? Whether the coachee is ready or not. And if the coachee is more self-aware, then actually the coaching conversation can be much more efficient and effective, right? So, that person is like having the light bulb, whether is it on or not on, right? And if it's turned on, then it's much faster. So there's benefit in this. But so I can, like what I was saying earlier, if I were to share it with somebody without any other agenda, I'm fine. I'm happy to share, right? Because I find it brings value. But if the moment then say, oh, at the end of it, so and so, then would you like to get a report and see? Then it feels like I'm not so sincere, not so authentic. It seems like I have an agenda. That's how I feel.
Thank you for sharing, Eva. So earlier you mentioned that if you were to share the benefits of the value that this flow report provides without any agenda, you are okay with it. However, at the end of the conversation, if you were to have to ask them to decide or consider whether they want to purchase the report, then you feel that, it is not so comfortable. How does that resonate with you? Am I right to say that?
Yeah. All right.
Okay. And earlier, you also quoted an example where previously you were working in a retail and you were being paid and you are not rewarded based on incentive or commission. So you were okay doing the sales to help whether people buy or don't buy and tell them the clothes whether it looks nice or not.
Right.
However, when you now have to do sales, and there is a incentive or reward to it, you don't feel so comfortable with it.
Yes, correct. So it seems like it's quite consistent. I mean, since young, I felt this way. So yeah, I mean, as of now, this is definitely a limiting belief, right? So I really need to try to figure life out, like how to then get rid of this, mindset, so that I'm be more, so that it's acceptable for me to share about the benefits of something, and yet, with the end objective of getting the person to buy the report or to have the workshop and etc.
Mhm. So Eva, first I want to acknowledge that what you are sharing in terms of the report provides a lot of value to the client and can really benefit them. Therefore, you decide to share it. And if you were to share it with your client and without asking them to buy, and they themselves offer to buy, then you're okay. Am I right to say that?
Yeah,
Okay. And how
yeah.
would that make you feel if they offer to buy or they decide, how can you let me know how much is this and so on?
I mean, if they offer to buy, I'll be really happy.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah, when you said it, I didn't think of it. But then again, the skeptic part of me will say that not many people will just offer to buy. They will just probably, okay, give you some face and listen to you, and then after that move on. But you have a point. I mean, it's true. I mean, product is really good. And if okay, the next thing is it also takes some self-awareness in a person to be willing to try this tool. Again, I would say this tool, this is a very established tool. I mean, I'm sure other companies, especially the MNCs, they would have deployed it somewhere or another. It also depends on the listener, I mean, the person who's interacting with. Yeah, but it's a good idea whereby, yeah, what if I can just talk to them and not have this objective of getting them to buy, and if they were to offer and ask more questions, that's how it flows.
mm.
Uh, yeah, that's uh, that's a good idea. I mean, that's a good way of thinking of it, rather than me being, because when I think of something, when I do something, there must be an end objective, man. Right? So if I remove the end objective, uh, might be easier. Might be easier. I just do not know whether in terms of effectiveness, like getting sales, would that be good? So,
Yeah. So I'm just curious. Earlier you mentioned this could be a limiting belief and you would like to get rid of this mindset.
mm,
So what has this limiting belief cost you?
because that means I'm not able to achieve what I want to achieve. So basically right now is I want to have the 180 right? Of being able to make my own decisions and yet bring in the money at the same time. Right? So meaning, like, you're an entrepreneur, you're in control of yourself, what you do, what you want to do. You no longer need to be dictated by silly procedures or by people telling you for whatever reasons, their ego or whatever, to do certain things that you do not agree with. So and most importantly, it's time for my family, uh, and time for Jehovah, because I also want to set aside time to do God's work. So all this, right? These are really my objectives. So I see secular work as a means to support what I want to do.
What else is it costing you if you do nothing about it?
I can't achieve this dream. Of course, financially, I will suffer. It'll be stagnant, right? So I can't sustain forever without having income. Yeah, yeah. And also, I think importantly is setting a good example for my kids.
So I hear a few things. If you do not get rid of this limiting belief, it's going to cost you, one, not able to achieve what you want to achieve. Two, you mentioned that you want to be an entrepreneur and have more control. Three, you no longer want people to tell you what to do, working for others. Four, it'll cost you time for family, because if you don't do it, to have the time for family. Five, it costs you time to do God's work. Six, you can't achieve the dream. Seven, you can't sustain forever without income. And eight, you're not able to set a good example for your kids. What are you learning so far as I reflect this back to you?
It does sound quite serious. Yeah. But how do I get rid of it, right? I mean, earlier we explored and we found one whereby I could just be myself and share the benefits without having the I suppose the deal objective. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe for a start, I can do that and see how it is. Because I mean, again, like I shared earlier, the other fear is if I do that, I'm not so sales driven, then I may not be so effective at closing sales. But I can try that first, right? And then if I practice it more, it might get a bit easier. And if let's say there's a couple of people who are interested and they themselves volunteered to buy, then that might actually smoothen the inertia.
So earlier you mentioned the focus is you want to know how to overcome this reluctance and start doing it. And when you say how to overcome, what do you mean by how?
Like what I can do to make it easier for me to open my mouth, make it easier for me to call somebody up or reach out to somebody to share with them about this flow, right? The benefits of it. Because I mean, a lot of people know this as as just a profiling tool, but this flow actually recognizes more that we do not just stay in a particular quadrant at all times. We could be flowing all the time. Plus, when they bring in the part about emotional intelligence, so that's the power. That's the additional star on this profiling tool, because other profiling tools doesn't talk about EI. And seriously, what I see right now is EI. I mean, not only right now. I think since many years back, 20 years back, there's a talk about EQ versus IQ, right? You could be seriously intelligent. In fact, I just had a conversation with somebody who was sharing about the son being extremely bright, extremely smart, but he has no friends because of his attitude, right? So EI is really, really important. You could know what you are, but if you do not have the EI to recognize it and to make yourself change, see others and make yourself change according to others, then you're going to not be able to bring out the best in yourself. Right? So this tool, that's why I say I do believe in this tool, but it's me, being uh articulating, sharing about this tool with others. Right? And it's always it's always been like, no, at the back of my mind, oh dear, I'm talking to this person because I want him to close the sale with me, right? Yeah, I believe that this is really, the part that is stopping me, right? So, and the idea that we filtered up, whereby if I could talk to somebody without, having this idea, then it frees me up. But I think it's like it's an emotion, something that's not an emotional baggage. It's just something that just makes me feel very uncomfortable. So if I remove this weight, from the equation, then I should be able to flow. Yeah. So I think I'll look forward to, over the next few days, adjust this mindset and say, hey, Ava, just go ahead and have a talk, right, with whoever you know, or maybe you could even do cold calling and give it a try. Yeah, I think if I remove the weight from it, then I think it will fly.
If this weight that you mentioned has been completely removed, what more can you do differently?
I would be able to see it as like a job, like in the past when I sell ideas, I sell concepts, I sell procedures, to people, right? And truly the benefit is that if they see it, and it'll be good for their company. Because some of the times, actually most times, uh, work relationships, what should I say? It's not the work that is difficult. It's actually the emotions and the agendas that people bring to the work that makes it difficult. And if people are able, if the companies is able to improve communication, enhance the relationship of their staff, right? Then truly they can work like the ASAR team. And if the business owner is able to see that, who benefits? Their business. Yeah, it's their business. It's really their business, right? It's just like, you can see a doctor. Yeah, you pay money to the doctor, but you also take away some benefits, right? You get well, get better. So that's the thing. So I'm that's the way I should see it. Uh, but okay, this one is a bit more a higher mountain to scale. I should first scale the part whereby I talk to people and just be casual about it and see what their response is. Right. And that would be a more manageable step for me. And then after that, hopefully I can then be able to see it as just a pure yeah, actually the doctor analogy is quite good, isn't it? Yeah, when you have functional teams, you have a lot of infighting, politics, and then it really just, I've experienced it myself, just takes away the joy of work. So yeah, actually the benefits are really multifaceted if one is able to see it. Right? Yeah, work is better. The staff feel happier, right? Bottom lines increase if people are more engaged. Because especially right now, people is having the tanping revolution, right? Every just on the life flat. Yeah. So it is helpful. And I have to then, think that I'm helping rather than I'm trying to. It's not as if I'm taking away something without giving them anything in return. Yeah, I think that's the key.
Thank you, Eva. I'd like to share with you an observation. I may be wrong. Earlier, when you shared, if the business owners can see the benefits, if can see it, then who benefits? During that time when you were saying this, there was a big smile on your face and your eyes lighted up. So I'm just curious, how were you feeling when you were saying that, or what's going on underlying?
Uh, it was more of like the joy in being able to improve something, right? At the end of the day, an ordinary individual will want to see things better, not for just for themselves, but for everybody else, right? If everybody is happy, you're happy too, right? So if let's say I'm able to bring that benefit to the organization, I will really be very happy. Yeah, that will be the kind of satisfaction, right, that you get. So it's like, and that's also the joy that I'm seeking at work. Because it's like work shouldn't be just work, and delivering work is one thing, and then there's no appreciation, and there's a lot of needless fighting, needless uh, arguments. That's the one that just gets me very, very down. So if let's say, that's why I want a career switch is something to bring value, to be seen as adding value rather than somebody's, oh, you're just here to watch, catch my mistakes, tell me what to do, and things like that.
Yes, I'll commend you for being someone who want to add value to organizations and help to improve things and make it better for everyone. Earlier, you mentioned what can I do to make it easier? And when you say make it easier, what do you mean by easier?
Easier for me to talk to people, to pick up that that phone, or send out that email, or and to meet up with people. Yeah. Because for me it's sales really is not something that's natural, like sales with a dollar value tag to it is really not natural. I feel a bit like it's as if I'm doing something I shouldn't do. So
Again,
easier is truly, yeah, just to make me be able to, yeah.
hmm, if this, if all feeling of uneasiness no longer is no longer a concern, how will you approach this differently?
If the uneasiness is no longer a concern, then I will just be garang about it and just go and, hey, hello, hello, have you heard of this? And go on. Or I can even start another conversation. Another way is, how is it, in the office, are projects getting done? How are the people, how's the staff relationship? Yeah, that could be also another opener as well.
Hmm. And if that truly adds a lot of value to the organizations that you are serving, how would that make you feel?
Excited, happy, and definitely elated, really. I mean, if I could really, help out. Previously, an organization that was sluggish, that couldn't, move as fast, as smoothly. Uh, and then with, with better understanding, awareness of themselves, the staff, and even like, for example, when it comes to assigning jobs, right? If you have a team of people and you have this particular job, and you know that this person don't really like this kind of job, you can actually not assign this job to this person. You can assign it to another person. So it goes two ways. It helps the staff itself. It also helps the leader know their team better. And then when they do assignment, they get that they make better decisions, right? And all in all, one objective is to get better outcomes. So the key point, the key driver is really better outcomes for the organization, for the team, and also for the individual. Because I mean, self-awareness is something that you don't just use it at work. Use it in your own interpersonal relationships with your family, with your friends, with the day-to-day people you interact with. I mean, if you bring some joy to people, why not?
Eva, can you share with me some of your takeaways for today's conversation?
My key takeaway truly is the part whereby I could approach it as sharing with others about this tool that I find useful, the benefits, right? And don't think about the sales, just share, right? And then see how it flows. And hopefully, the response is good. There could be some like who might be willing to try, right? And if that person sees the benefits, I'm sure that person would be happy to bring it back to the organization to because who doesn't want to work in a better place, right? Rather than a place that's every day go to the office and I have to face all these issues and tussles again. Nobody wants, right? They all want self-performing, engaged teams. So that happens. And then after that, again, a lot of about this work is really branding, word of mouth. And then if it spreads on to other organizations, be it within the same industry or even outside of the industry, then it may start, it kickstart, it may snowball. Yeah, get the ball rolling. I think the key thing is really to take the first step, which until now I'm still like feeling very uncomfortable about it. Yeah. So the key takeaway is, being able to decouple the objective away from the process. Yeah, I think that I feel a bit like, oh, I can move this, like, I dare to do the roller skate, move out with that skate on.
Who can keep you accountable?
Who can keep me accountable? I would say myself, but at the end of it, it's really my kids. Because a lot of these kind of things I'm doing is for my kids. So if I see them day in, day out, it's like, okay, they'll remind me, say, I need to do something and not just sit there and stay where I am.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge you for being a very thoughtful and caring mom and wanting to set a good example for your kids. And they're also the one that support you through this to encourage you going through it. What kind of resources or support do you need to take these actions?
Well, actually, I've gotten I've been trained as a master trainer as a trainer for this flow, and I'm also in contact with the master trainer. She's been very helpful. Uh, Ideally, I would like to look for a partner to collaborate with, because it's just like typical management wisdom, right? You can't pick up the piece of food with one chopstick, right? A pair of chopsticks will be better, right? Easier, make it easier, and also the softer as well. So again, it has to be somebody whom I can collaborate well with. I think that would be even better than me starting out alone. But even if I were to find somebody to collaborate with, I'm still must work on myself. That is me, my this inertia, of doing sales, right? So I still must work on myself. So both I must work on. And then yeah, right. I look forward to a future whereby I'm busy conducting workshops, facilitating, talking to people, bringing value, helping, helping teams who don't speak well to each other start to work well and know each other better.
How would that make you feel once you're in that position or place?
I'll feel satisfied and happy.
And what
At
would
least you look forward to work,
okay. What would that happiness mean for you?
learn a lot, right? I mean, if I could do that, and then at all time I'm in control of my time. That the time is very important. I can choose to, carve out time for my family, carve out time for God. I think that is in a perfect place I want to be, and not have to worry about the money. Yeah, that really be my ideal place.
Is there anything that could hinder you from taking actions?
Really, is this fear of the sales? This fear of the sales. I mean, skill wise, I'm confident. I mean, we're always learning, and I've also been ACLP certified, so I do know some part of that, like the facilitation, the do's and don'ts, to make it more fruitful, beneficial for the learners. So skills wise, I'm there. Right now, it's really to go out to look for customers, and again, we look for customers, it's all sales. So this is the part that's really hindering me. Anything else? Not really. So if I could get this started, and then there's income coming in, I will even look into other forms of self-improvement, other things that I can bring to value to when we hold this kind of workshops, be it leadership workshops for companies.
By when will you start?
I want to say today. So first, I need to brainwash myself. Actually, I have already prepared certain. I've already done some homework on my own, like how to send out emails, and then force myself to write down, in a coherent manner, what are the benefits, how it can be used, and things like that. So really, that right now is to have the courage and let the word out.
Thank you, Eva. So our time is almost up. Will you be able to summarize some of your overall actions and learnings?
Yep. Learnings is the key takeaway I'm really happy with is, to decouple the objective away from the process. And also for me, I mean, as I speak out, right, I do know that my intent is not just to, so I just think about, oh, I talk to you, I want to close the sale, I get money from you, and that's it. So I stop there. But actually the true intent is the benefit that I want to bring to the organization, right? I didn't really focus much on that part. Right? And in fact, that should be my focus. And not about the money. Right? And if I were to keep thinking of the end objective is not the client giving me the money. The end objective is the client getting the benefits of having a more engaged and cohesive sales staff. That should be the objective that I'm looking at, right? That in fact would, I should not keep focusing on that. Oh, I'm getting money from them. It's not right. I shouldn't be getting benefits, money from others. It's not that. I need to shift it to even further, whereby, if they'll go through this workshop, if they go through this profiling tool, they have better self-awareness, they improve, they get the benefit. So I need to make sure that stretch my thinking a bit further to go there. And also, what I need to do now really is to calm myself down, take a deep breath, know what I'm doing, tidy up my notes, and then let it out, start sending out emails, calling people, and having conversations. One more thing.
Yep.
One thing is getting a collaborator, finding a partner, getting a suitable partner, and yeah, Actually, there's already somebody, in mind because of the collaboration that we did earlier. So it's more of, taking it further and see how else we can better work together.
I'd like to reflect back what I heard earlier. You mentioned that the business is not about making money. I'm paraphrasing, please correct me if I'm wrong. So that business is not about making money, it's about adding value through showing them the benefits of this profiling tool. And by adding value in that process, you will get paid the money. So that is the change of perspective that you mentioned earlier. How does that resonate with you?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just jotting it down as you're reflecting it back to me. Yeah, I think correct. I mean, you put it much more nicely, more eloquently, that truly it's about adding value to others, right? And the focus is not about the money, but of course, as part of it, as a service provided, we do get paid. So the business is about adding value to the client, to others. Yeah, I think that's a good way of phrasing it. Thanks, Stanley.
Thanks, Eva.
Thanks, you've been very helpful. Yeah, I mean, first thing first is, the decoupling the objective from the process. And yeah, this statement is really good.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about this topic before we close the session?
No, I'm good. Right now, I really, like I said, I need to calm down, settle down my heart, tidy up myself, all the things I prepared, and be brave.
Yes. Good to hear that, Eva. So would this now be a good time for us to close the session?
Yes, indeed. Thanks so much for your time, Stanley. It's really been helpful. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Eva. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.